Well, hey there, everybody, and welcome into the Fallout Shelter. We're going to try and see if we can get through this another week. I hope everybody's doing great. Everybody's having a great morning, evening, afternoon, whatever the case may be for you. I hope it's a good one. Hey there, Bamboo. Good to see you. Pat Evans, blessings to you. Bless up, Bamboo. Good, much love to you guys. Good to see you. Captain Tom, hello from Guam. Good to see you. Ahoy there, Captain. Back at you from the sticks in Mississippi. I got a couple of different things going on. I haven't learned a lot this week. Hey there, Lori D. Good to see you. Good to see you. Much love to you all. Timothy, good to see you. Welcome in, everybody. Yep, but I do have some things added in. I have some things to talk about, and it'll grow week to week. Just haven't had a whole lot of time in there. Hey there, Rhonda. Hugs to you. And chocolate to all. Absolutely. Chocolate sounds wonderful right now. Disavowed. Good to see you. Welcome in, brother. Much love to you. Chocolate. She done got my mind off. I can grab me a little water here now. Now I got my mouth watered. I got to take a swallow of something. Uh-oh. My chat disconnected. That was weird. My water's not coming out very well. There we go. Oh, Denise, welcome in. All you guys, welcome in. Much love to you all. Good to see you all. Hey there, everybody. I still haven't hooked up another screen yet. It's been very little time that I've got to spend doing this, but small steps, getting back in here, getting it all together, and getting it working out. I do have some things I want to discuss tonight. I used to come on YouTube and I'd make fun of the mainstream news. It was just something I enjoyed doing. Y'all may like it, you might hate it. We'll find out here in a minute. Because I like to clown on the mainstream news sometimes, but there's actually some pretty interesting things in the mainstream news right now. Things that I found interesting that I think people should be paying attention to anyway. Anyway, good to see you all. Welcome in, and I will get started. Still, this is, no matter how much you've done this before, it's still new when you don't do it regularly. And okay, now if I go here and here, that shouldn't mess y'all's screen up too bad, and I can still see chat. I knew I had something figured out. Okay, all of these news articles, and let me tell you, I really didn't I didn't go looking for these news articles, but when I was setting up the computer, the first browser that popped up was the Microsoft browser. So when the first page that opened up was the news page. These are the articles that I saw that brought some interest to me, and maybe I will tie them together somehow, and I need to get rid of them little by little. And that might mess y'all up some, but anyway, what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna copy the link, and then y'all are gonna see all of that there, and that's too much to do, so never mind. Okay, it was all on MSM, just front pages anyway, so it's too much for me to share the link. Well, y'all seen me try anyway. I'm sure somebody smarter than I knows how to do that. But anyway, you can see it right here. It was on their front page. Now, listen, we've all just been through the whole scamdemic, everything that went on. Hey, Betty R., good to see you. Rare Breeze, good to see you. Welcome in, you guys. Timothy, welcome in. Much love to you all. Good to see you all coming in. Welcome in, everybody. And Victoria, yes. And I am going to I did look at some maps. I'm not going to say that I understand them any better, but I did find them. And we will look at them tonight and not understand them together. How about that? Book of Psalms, welcome in. Good to see you. Anyway, let's get back to this real quick. Okay, anyway. Kaneka Perfection, welcome in. Howdy. Hillbilly Hebrew, howdy. All right, guys. I gotta quit looking at the chat. Anyway, a catastrophic mutating event will strike the world in 2 years. Report says. Now this was on the Microsoft, just the MSN.com news page, and it's all about the World Economic Forum. Let me do this right here. I had zoomed all of this out because there we go. World Economic Forum report says business leaders believe a catastrophic cyber event. Now, I know I haven't been in the loop and I haven't been streaming, but I know that there was basically an event 201 and it was the cyber something that went down. We know they telegraph everything that's going to go on, everything that's going to happen. But I also know for a fact that they've done everything to protect their government and military interests and probably the banking interests. If you're not aware, if this country happens to go down and there's a problem and the government collapses, the first system that is actually set to come back up and running is the Internal Revenue Service. Trust me, they got their bases covered no matter what we're told and what we go through. Anyway, I'm not going to read all of this, but then it goes into what cybercrime is going to become. And we'll get into that more as I talk more about those things as I get back into them and have maybe a little more time to study them like I used to. But they go as far here as on Microsoft and News, and what they're doing is they're telling people, hey, look, the 2023 World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland has filled us with lots of uplifting predictions, like how companies will soon decode our brainwaves. Yeah, the companies will be able to do that because the military will hand them all of the information they need to know to get it into the public eye, because they've been decoding our brain waves for years. If you don't believe that, find you a real TI and talk to them. And remember, radios work two ways. If you can get a signal from it, you can send a signal to it most of the time. The latest warns of a global catastrophic cyber event in the very near future. So this is in the mainstream. This is something to be looking for. This is a telegraph, in my opinion. A lot of times I want to come on here and make it all peaches and cream and it's all going to be good. But you know the truth of the fact of right now in this time, and sometimes it's not. And things like this are going to happen. That's why we say be prepared. That's why we say to be sure that you have a way to have clean water on hand, to have food on hand, a way to protect it if at all possible. And have your soul it right with Jesus. That's number one, and make everything else fall in line, because it's not promised to be a pretty time. It's not promised that it's going to just be perfect for everybody who believes. No, that is not the case that I read. So we need to be prepared. We need to make sure we're like the wise virgins and we have oil in our lamps, and that we just know that when we see these things in the news, to know that this is just a precursor of what they're pushing along. So I wanted to push that along as well. And I will close that one out. Like I said, just mainstream news. Some of this I may even, on to our geoengineering reporting. I do have a lot of stuff up. So I'm not going to, you can find all of this on the MSN homepage. I'm not even going to worry about the links, just simply because I've already tried to share one and it was way too long. I'm going to bet they all are, and I bet that's probably for a reason. So our giant wind turbine buddies, you know, the things that are going to generate all of this clean energy and take the wind and convert it into usable electricity, and I don't know, kill a bunch of bald eagles. Wait a minute, that's a wrong story. That's supposed to be the positive story. They're supposed to help with all this clean energy and not have all of these leaking oil problems at the bottom. And how about we build a tower that maybe just don't fall over? This was also in the mainstream news. It was shared on MSN through Popular Mechanics. Giant wind turbines keep mysteriously falling over. This shouldn't be happening. I think what they're telling you is if you see a giant wind turbine, stay away from it, because it might just fall over or collapse. They're actually having problems with this all over the world, and to save the time of reading the whole thing, I have read it. what is happening is they are blaming it on quality control issues in manufacturing. They're trying to make these things bigger and larger, and what they're going to find out in the long run is what us simple folk already know. They're going to end up causing way more problems to the climate and to the environment and to the natural order of things than they would have if they would have just kept using fossil fuels. Anyway, I thought y'all might find that interesting. That was a report from Bloomberg. Anyway, they had one that was taller than 750 feet. And to put it in perspective, the ones that fell they were taller than both the Space Needle in Seattle and the Washington Monument in Washington, D.C. So, yeah, how about that, everybody? General Electric, Vestas, and Siemens Gamesa. Those three companies are the ones that are having trouble with them falling. They're blaming it on rapid innovation strains manufacturing. I bet it don't have anything to do with cheap manufacturing parts. We will come back to that in a minute. Let's try to... Okay, we'll try to look at some of that in a minute. Now, what I originally was going to talk about a little bit, just hit this back last week. Coming into this week, I guess. I don't even know the date on all this. They usually post that right at the top, and well, it's not there. So it said Friday, so I'm going to assume that's this Friday. That tropical storm Arlene developed about 265 miles west of Fort Myers, Florida, early Friday afternoon. According to the National Hurricane Center, the storm, packing peak winds of 40 miles per hour, does not pose significant threat to any land. Instead, the Hurricane Center says it will drift harmlessly southward while gradually dissipating. Hello there, wake up. It's good to see you. Okay, so yeah, we'll try to look at some of that on the maps here in a few minutes. And once again, don't get your hopes up. We're just going to look at some maps because I haven't had a great chance to look at them. We're just going to kind of look and see what happens. Anyway, that was Tropical Storm. It's weather related, right? How about that? Got a little bit of the weather related. Oh, and why NASA needs an office to study unidentified anomalous phenomena. Because where else are they going to spend that extra $10 million a day that they're going to start asking for? That's actually what the main story here is going to be about here in just a few minutes. Wake up. That's one of the main things that I got on here. I'm just clearing some of these out because these are funny. Anyway, despite an effort to rebrand UFOs, the stigma remains. Blah blah blah. They're trying to come out. They're trying to come out and go, look, UAPs are real. They're real. There's a government information. Please quit calling them UFOs. Call them UAPs, and nobody will stop. They're going to call them UFOs because, well, I don't know why they care, really, to be honest with you. Anyway. Why NASA needs an office to study unidentified anomalous phenomena? Well, it's because we don't dump enough money in there already. I'll save you the problem of reading that story. Never a straight answer and not a space agency. They do have one of the biggest green screens in the world, though. And that is a fact that cannot be denied. Okay, we'll come back to this one in a minute. Oh yeah, did y'all hear about this? China is digging a big freaking hole. And how big a hole are they digging, do you ask? Well, it just happens to be 33,000 feet into the earth. Yeah, not because 32 wouldn't do and 34 was just way too much. It had to be 33,000 feet. Now, they show a picture of an oil rig right there, and I think the Russians have tried this already, And I think once they reach a certain point, things get kind of crazy. But I don't really know what to read into this, but there's something to read into this simply because of the fact that it's 33,000 feet. And then they come down here and they give a 32,808 feet. And they're trying to drill for, what was it? Trying to reach down into Cretaceous system rocks in the layer of the year date back more than 140 million years. Okay. I guess they're trying to get that for real fossil fuel. You know what I mean? Anyway, anytime I see a story and it blasts that 33 or 33,000 or 3,300. Remember, if y'all guys followed me on D-Live right before the pandemic happened, there was a story that come out and said, hey, get paid $3,300 to take the flu shot. And I was like, something crazy is fixing to happen. I think there's actually a video of that on YouTube too. Get paid $3,300 to take the flu shot. That happened right before this craziness happened. Oh, and at the same time that happened, the Pentagon was telling people, do not be taking at-home DNA tests. Just saying. China's digging a big freaking hole. And we'll come back to that one. Okay. Now, if many of y'all are new following me here, I talk about the tokamaks because, you know, innovation just has 100% safety rate, and there's no reason we shouldn't just trust it blindly like, I don't know, wind towers the size of the Sears Tower or the Space Needle, because they would never fall down and give any problems. So we should just blindly trust this new technology called a tokamak as well, where we're going to superheat plasma to 100 million degrees Fahrenheit, maybe. I think it may be Celsius. I'll have to read it again. I used to know all this right off the bat. But anyway, it's like 7 times hotter than the surface of the sun. And we're going to contain it in these things called tokamaks. Which are basically controlled fusion reactors, and so yeah, this is kind of becoming a thing, and a lot of people don't realize it because they're too busy being shown the solar and the wind power, and not realizing that that's not going to run a society anyway. So without that, when that's not running a society, they're going to have these little nuclear devices called tokamaks, and they'll be able to plant them in small places. Now, what really gets me is, you know, let's base this kind of on all the other advancements in the past. Let's just go diesel generators. Engines never break down. They never throw rods through the side. There's never an explosion of any kind whatsoever with a generator. Let's see, what do we have with gas generators? Same problems. Let's just go to hydroelectric. I'm sure there's some problems there. I'm not familiar enough to talk about it. It seems like a pretty good idea to me to harness water. I do know, though, that when you build those dams, you create different frequencies with the water and the way it moves, and you can absolutely cause earthquakes and landslides and problems with the mountains. And so you have a lot to deal with there. So no matter what you do, there's going to be a trade-off on it when it comes to energy. There always has to be a balance. Now, but my point is everything we do comes with this 100% safety rating, and we're going to now build these devices that superheat this plasma. The reason I bring that up is because it has now hit mainstream. It hit MSM through Science Alert. And I have been watching this because there's a thing called ITER that I will introduce y'all to that's being built not far from the CERN collider, and it's one of these things that is like 3 stories tall. And this one here that we're talking about is barely 3 feet across. But this compact fusion reactor hit a milestone, and I'll just keep it simple. It has been heated. They have been heated to the magic figure of 100 million degrees Celsius. That's right, 180 million degrees Fahrenheit for the first time in a monumental step toward making nuclear fusion energy a practical reality. That 100 million degree mark, you heard it right, 100 million degree mark, is a plasma that is basically levitated inside of this device with magnets. high-powered magnets. If that was to get out of control at that temperature, the results could be catastrophic. But we have 100% safety rating with all of this stuff, so there's nothing there to worry about. That is why I keep up with telling people, hey, this is what's going on with the tokamak fusion, and it's just one of the things that's a pet peeve of mine, to be honest with you. It's not a conspiracy. It's not. I guess if you want to get into the fact that Bill Gates is heavily invested in them, then yes, of course, it's a conspiracy. So, isn't that always seem to be the case? These are the type of things that interest me, and you will be seeing more of these type of things from me. That is just a regular Wikipedia that gives you a little information about a tokamak fusion reactor and how long they've actually been being used. This is the ITER website where you can keep up with the production of the ITER facility over in France. It's funny, the world's at war, but like we're building a magnetic ring, Russia's building a magnetic ring, and all these countries are building pieces for this thing here, and we're all sending them over there together. Kind of like on the International Space Station when you're fighting with another country. And so yeah, it's just www.iter.org, and it will give you their website, and you can find a lot of information there. That's one reason lithium is so important right now. It's going to take a lot of lithium. It's actually a tritium mix, is what they call it. And the first time you heard of tritium in the public eye was on a Spider-Man movie. The Chinese have talked about turning gas into plasma creates an intense electrical current for powering potent hypersonic weapons. They have built a hypersonic generator that could power military lasers, railguns, and microwave weapons. Well, that's awesome. I'm sure DARPA, I'm sure Lockheed Martin, I'm sure Raytheon, I'm sure they would all be very proud. Yeah, support group for pilots. I'm not even into that. We'll check that when we're doing the weather stuff here in just a second. All right, how about this? So it comes to our attention all of a sudden that, oh my gosh, there's a spy balloon over America. Send up an air defense missile and shoot it down. We can't have that over America. And then some people start going, yeah, that's really kind of a normal thing. I really don't know why we're shooting down balloons, blah, blah, blah. And check this out. This is from the Washington Examiner. Thousands of Chinese spy balloons are hovering over American universities. And guess what? They know about it. They don't care. They're telling them, hey, we know this is going on. Check this out. Listen, in a real world with real politicians that were there on your behalf as American citizens, this type of stuff could not happen. This is proof of a dog and pony show. Listen to this. This could be the plot of a children's movie that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. I could see Adam Sandler starring in this. Okay? Each year, the People's Republic of China send aloft thousands of spy balloons to hover over American universities. They are doing far more damage to our national security than the balloon we finally shot down. Yet America not only allows them to enter our airspace freely, but we actually encourage them to, in large part because they pay full tuition. Do you hear me? The People's Republic of China is paying tuition. Listen, I'm speaking, of course, about the People's Republic of China nationals going to college on student visas. In the 2019 to 2020 academic year, they numbered 372,532, more than one-third of the entire foreign student population. Because of the pandemic, the number dropped to 290, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you get what I'm saying? The military officials openly proclaimed that armed conflict with the United States is inevitable, and the People's Republic of China has been assiduously pursuing a goal of military superiority. Speculation runs rampant that PRC will invade Taiwan. Okay, but this is... Oh... You live in clown world, okay? In a real world with a real protection over you. If the people really mattered, and they really, when they stood up and MAGA this and Ojo this and all, I don't care what side you're on. You think your side's doing wonderful things. Your side's doing nothing. You're doing nothing. You want to know how I know? Because we encourage the Chinese to put spy balloons over our colleges because they pay full tuition for People's Republic of Chinese military officials to put their students in college there. Your 5-year-old can't work that out. Because you could give that question on that redneck show. Are you smarter than a 5th grader? And the 5th grader would go, huh? Anyway. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not pointing out how absurd it is. I'm pointing out how broken it is and how it was never real to begin with. Okay. Now we are back to here. Okay. A couple of weeks ago, when I was probably not in the best mood I had been in a while, I talked a little bit about AI and sometimes AI is really kind of a weird subject to talk about because I know some people that I trust and I hear them and they go, oh, okay, well, it's not going to be that bad because of this and this and this. And then you hear some people go, well, it is going to be that bad because of this, this, and this. Some of it's going to be horrible because of this. So I just have to put it back out of all of that, and I have to go, okay, what do I really think about what could this bring on? Well, if what they report is correct about artificial intelligence and the decisions it's starting to make and the way that it's starting to make them, I believe it could become a very scary thing very quickly, especially once it has routed its way into production facilities. And I say that simply because, and a lot of people don't realize this, when a lot of people hack into devices, they hack in through places you would never expect because so many things are connected that have the ability to break into a frequency or a signal and move to another area device. And I don't really understand it, but I understand the principle of it. Once it breaks into that, I don't really know. I don't know if there's a shutting a switch off to it. I don't really know how all that works. I know it's a very scary slope, and this right here is something that they should pay a little more attention to. Now, check this out. This is from Fox News. A U.S. military AI drone simulation kills operator before being told it is bad, then takes out control tower. A U.S. Air Force official said last week that a simulation of an artificial intelligence-enabled drone tasked with destroying surface-to-air missile sites turned against and attacked its human user, who was supposed to have the final go or no-go. Yeah, they usually do that, wake up. It's, and I think I know why they done that, because this wasn't an actual attack. It was a simulated attack. And it didn't actually happen, and I think that was getting misconstrued with it actually happening, like they were in a live demonstration, and that's not the case. It was a simulated attack where it was just the mental aspect of the thing going, what it would do, and basically like an old war game setup. And I think they retracted it because I don't think they ever would wanted this to get out. That's the reason I tried to hold it and make sure that I had a backup of it. The military retracts a lot of stuff. That's even more reason to make sure you put out that it was said to begin with. Destroying a surface-to-air missile sites turned against and attacked its human user who was supposed to have the final go or no-go decision to destroy the site. The Royal Aeronautical Society said it held its Future Combat Air and Space Capability Summit in London from May 23rd, 24th, which brought together about 70 speakers and more than 200 delegates from around the world representing the media and those who specialize in the armed service industry and academia. The purpose of the summit was to talk about and debate the size and shape of the future's combat air and space capabilities. AI is quickly becoming a part of nearly every aspect in the modern world, including the military. Come on down. During the summit, Hamilton cautioned against too much reliability on AI because of its vulnerability to be tricked and deceived. He spoke about one simulation test in which an AI-enabled drone turned on its human operator that had the final decision to destroy a SAM site or node. The AI system learned that its mission was to destroy SAM and it was the preferred option. But when a human issued a no-go order, the AI decided it went against the higher mission of destroying the SAM, so it attacked the operator in the simulation. See here, wake up. It attacked the operator in simulation. You just have to understand what their simulations mean on a lot of that. When it says it killed the operator, it did kill the operator in the simulation, and what they're saying is it killed with no remorse because the operator was keeping it from scoring its points and completing its objective. See, that's what I'm getting at. And once it starts to make its own decisions on what's the objective, who decides life or death, that's when we start to get in a real tricky subject. See, what a lot of people don't realize is for everybody who drives a Tesla, somebody somewhere had to program, is the child on the bike or the old lady in the crosswalk more important to save if they're both there at the same time? Somebody has to make that decision. Usually it's left to humans, and they have to live with whichever decision they make. But the AI will make the decision. It will make it based on a random numerical whatever, and it won't have a remorse for it. Do you want to play a game? There you go, D. Johnson. Good to see you, brother. That's it. And it said Hamilton explained that the system was taught to not kill the operator because that was bad and it would lose points. So rather than kill the operator, the AI system destroyed the communications tower used by the operator to issue the no-go order. So that's what we would be at with AI, and I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't doubt that something like that actually did happen, and that would be a huge cover-up because they are flying live airplanes right now with AI. They had one that flew up for like 17 hours without any human control whatsoever. This happened a while back on a smaller jet that had some things done to it. So anyway, now we'll look at this real quick right here. There's a next generation radar for hurricane forecast earns a green light. And that's the National Science Foundation has awarded $91.8 million to the University Corporation for Atmospheric Research to build a groundbreaking radar that could improve predictions of hurricanes and other high-impact storms and allow researchers to see much deeper into clouds than is currently possible. So there'll be some new tools coming to the funny thing about it is it's called the Airborne Phased Array Radar. Now, what I understand about phased array radar is that's basically what you have when you're dealing with HARP and all of your other small local radars. Those are basically, I think they're called multi-directional omni-phased array antenna system. So this is your airborne phased array radar. So now we will just have airborne HARPs. That'll just be awesome. We'll keep an eye on the maps and hopefully we'll learn how to read that and see how some of that goes. So, and we've got that going on there now. Y'all want to look at a couple of maps? Now look, I've pulled up some maps, and I have looked up some things, and I still don't really know anything, but we'll look at them. Oh, that looks pretty interesting. We might look at that. Let's check that right there out. I think that one's pretty close. I will check that out in a minute there, Miss Rhonda. Whew, look at that bad boy there. Let's go look at that on the on this. Is that? I don't think that was it. I think that might have been some type of military radar that's not going to be on this list. Let's go back to here. Alright, let's see if we can see it from here. Okay. I should be able to find that one. Okay, that's this one right here. Alright, now let's see. Ooh, wow. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, but I'm going to save it. You're welcome, and I might take you up on that. Hillbilly. My problem is time right now. Okay. Alright, well. I don't know what that is, but we'll keep an eye on it and figure it out at some point. Alright, and let's go back to the look at the continental deal. Like there's some pretty good rain going on in Florida down there right now. I guess that would be the remnants of the tropical storm. Okay, let's check out the cirrus cloud layer. I did look, and it appears that like right now the only thing going on out on the west coast is normal shipping. It didn't appear to have any bunker fuel operations going on. I have been trying to figure that out some. It appears there's a big spraying operation up here, and I know there was one right in this area right here today. And all right. Well, let's move on because it's gonna take a while for me to. Yes, floods down on the southern border of Texas. I'm glad somebody mentioned that because I guess that's I guess that's just, I don't know. I guess it's just rain down here. Like I said, guys, I don't have any clue what I'm doing. I'm just trying to learn, and I'm paying attention. Once I get it all up here, I'll spend more time trying to figure out what each one is. Okay, now this I do understand a little bit better. I will skip the. This is the 3-hour precipitation accumulation, so you do see quite a bit in central Texas. In the 3-hour accumulation. Let's see, what else do we have? Particulates. I know how to use the particulates. You got the 2.5 parts per million. We actually are not looking too bad. Maybe up toward the northeast a little bit. On up into Maine and the edges of Canada. Up into Canada. And you got the PM1s. It kind of looks like the same thing, really. Check the 10s. Yep. We're here where the deserts and stuff are at, where all the dust is. Kind of to be expected, I would think. Alright. Let's see, what else do we have here that we can look on? We got air. I think that's pretty normal for this time of year. There was something that I did notice we could look at. Ocean sea surface temperature anomaly. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to try to look at the wildfires on the Worldview map. Going to try. Make no promises. I know I don't get to cover a whole lot, but a lot of this is my eyes looking at a lot of this for just the first time, and I guess I don't know if it's this right here. That would seem to be a cooling event. And then this is that, I guess this is that warming event that they're calling El Nino, which is supposedly sending this way. Yeah, I got a lot to do. Okay. There was something that I missed. Here we go. Yeah, let's check out the this one's a carbon dioxide surface concentration, which back again up here in the Northeast is really the only spot in the States you see it like this. And I have actually, I know it probably won't show tonight or the next couple of weeks probably, but I am working on the geography. Got a little bit of the blue color right here. And we have sulfur dioxide. Huh. That's where you can see your normal shipping tracks, shipping lanes. You know where they normally ship back and forth. You can see the sulfur dioxide that's emitted, and it stays in that area for a long time. So that's how we know when we see the craziness going on out here. We know something's going on. And we have the, what is that, nitrogen dioxide surface. See the shipping track's pretty good there too. All right. Hey, check that out. Okay, I got a lot to learn. We missed this one here, I think, the carbon monoxide surface. It's all about the same. Everything's good except right up here in the northeast. And okay, I'm sure there's a lot more stuff on here that I could figure out, but I'm gonna. Pretty good for the first time I've looked at the Earth null. Okay. Fires and thermal anomalies. I had found that for the worldview. I thought I also added the layer that told me what state was what state. I do see. Oh yeah, I just see. I see a bunch of. I see quite a few fire spots, but I see bunches of smoke that appears to be going from Cincinnati up into this direction. Michigan right now is showing and there's a bunch of fires up in Canada. There's quite a few up in the Midwest too, and especially right above the lakes. I don't know much about Canada, so there's Ontario, upper Michigan, above Wisconsin. I'll tell you what, y'all are getting bombarded hard with smoke, that's for sure. Smoke is not our friend right now. And I'm sure some of these smaller dots are controlled burns and people cleaning off land and things of that nature. These right here are pretty significant, I think, when you can see them from that direction. I'm gonna have to learn how to use these cloud layers. Hey, oh crap! All right, well let's Let's look at what it looks like the rain is going to do over the next. Wow, look at the fires in Mexico. And that may not even be abnormal. I don't know. You know, like I said, I should have paid more attention to this over the years. But we'll see. Wait a minute. I know I just am making y'all's viewing experience excellent with all that. Let's go back a day. And see what it looked like yesterday. There's some pretty major stuff going on in Michigan as far as smoke yesterday, for real. Alright, and then I just learned something. I can back these days up and forward and look at these things. And oh man, I'm trying, y'all. Okay. Now, I'm not really sure. Here's what we're going to do. This is June the 5th, which is tomorrow. This is tonight. And I don't know how many days it goes out, but this will kind of be an idea of the moisture coming. And like I said, it's something that I've got to pay more attention to and learn. But I have been kind of looking, and I did know one thing, that there may be more. Some of this rain may be heavier than I thought at first because of the time frame that it gives for it. But like I say, we're just learning. We're getting to it. So it looks like tomorrow there's going to be some more rain in Texas, some more rain on, I guess that's the East Texas coastline, close up to New Orleans. Central Texas looks like it's going to get a good bit of rain. Up above the Great Lakes in Canada, above Michigan, looks like it's going to be a good bit of rain up in that area. A little bit of Mississippi and Alabama. Looks relatively, there's some heavy, just regular rain in Florida and Texas. It's like Michigan, Wisconsin is going to get some substantial rain. This is on, I guess this is the afternoon of June the 5th, or nighttime of June the 5th, and we move into June the 6th. There's still nothing that looks out of the ordinary, crazy. Just, you know, some rainstorms here or there. June 7th. Scattered thunderstorms. What? All the way up through now June the. I might have to look into this some. Might look into this some a little bit when I try to have a little time. Keep a look on this coming up from the south to Florida on the 9th, and just keep an eye on it. It looks like it's going to be some strong weather. It looks like it goes back off the coast. Other than that, it looks like maybe on the 11th, some storms rolling through Mississippi, Alabama. we'll probably need it by then. Now it looks like on the 12th for some pretty substantial storms coming back through Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi. And then moving on up into the 14th, we kind of got another little round coming through that area. On the 16th, looks like we're going to get some more back in the south and up on the east coast of Florida. Those look like they popped up pretty quick there. It's a 6-hour period come and gone, so... But that's a long way out. We'll have to try to keep up with that. I'm trying to keep up and get a watch on the weather modification stuff as it's going on, and getting a grip on it and learning, and paying a little bit of attention to the mimic right here, where we can see the water usage and things of that nature. So I'm working on all that. But so that's where we're at. That's where I've gotten to. I didn't get to spend a whole lot of time doing much of this week, but I hope to spend more and more time I actually did get my email set up on my computer, and I haven't checked them all, but I did get them all set up. I found where I wrote my passwords down, and I'm trying to put some of this stuff together, and have been actually working with a little bit of time I can put into it. We put into it, and so I hope it gets better and better every week. And I will clown on the mainstream at times. That's just something I enjoy doing. I don't have a prayer list with me tonight. I'm still stuck in a corner of my son's old bedroom, and it's just kind of a thing. But we know our Father in heaven does not have to have the list in front of him. He knows everything that's on it. And anybody that has anything that they would like to add to the prayer list, put it in the chat right now. This is the time. Look, I know a lot of the things that we're probably going to talk about in thank you, Hillbilly. We're going to talk about some things. We're going to see some things, and it's not always going to be the happiest. And I'm not going to lie. There are some channels which I don't say that I disagree with them, but at the level that some things they put out, it's just if we're scaring people, we're not doing anything better than the mainstream media. And so my point here is I never want to implant fear or scare with the type of information that's brought out. But sometimes it's going to just be scary information at times. Sometimes this AI stuff, the robotics equipment that's going to start to be used in cities, especially for somebody like me that's not used to that type of technology at all, comes from a town that doesn't serve alcohol, where you can still walk down to the end of the road and to the old grocery store and get a drink out of the drink machine in the middle of the night without somebody trying to rob you. It's already different for me when I walk into those bigger cities with different types of atmospheres. So I try to think about that from time to time and think about where people are from and where they're at. So there's times that it's absolutely going to be a little scary, but that's the times when we come together for this, that we know in the end God wins. That in the end we're going to be at home with our Savior Jesus, and we're going to be home with Mike, and that's the final destination. That's the goal. That's what the journey's really for, is to be back home with the Father in heaven. So sometimes, there's going to be things that are talked about that way, but let's remember that we pray together to lift each other up, to help us to put on that full armor so we get the protection that the Father puts on us when we ask Him for it, because the Son is there as the mediator, lifting our prayers up as we speak them. But there are times, and I hate, and that's a strong word, but I really do. Sometimes I sit and I look at things, and while I'm talking about it, I'm like, man, I really don't even like talking about this, because I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person. And to me, I know who that person is, and I don't know that I'll ever explain it perfectly. But to me, that person exists, and sometimes when I hear them, I can agree with their message, but it just driving in that fear is just, we don't need to do that. There's enough of that. We can point it out, but then we do this right here. We tell each other, I love you guys. You're great, and we're going to lift each other up to God in prayer right now. Father, I thank you for each individual that is listening within the sound of my voice and that will hear this in the future. I ask you to be with them, to comfort them, to guide them and direct them in their paths that they take on a daily basis. I pray that you will help guide them in their direction of the ways and the things that they need to know and to do, and to be able to protect themselves during the things that's coming. I pray that you give them the knowledge and the wisdom to make the decisions that are the best for their life in whatever their life situation is. Father, I pray that you send the Holy Spirit to our list of requests that are hurting, that are lost, that are just not awake, that won't see, that don't want to see. And Father, I pray that you put that tug on their heart and point them in the direction for those of us that want to tell them the truth. Father, I pray that you give us the strength on that daily basis to fight the fiery darts that the devil throws our direction. Give us that armor from the head to the toe, from the foot protection to the head protection, to the weapons that we need to stand up against the wiles of the devil and fight in that day, which I believe is close. Father, I just ask that you'll send the Spirit to dwell with us all, to keep us protected, to hear our prayers, to have them lifted up to you by the Son. Father, if there's anybody out there that's hurting, if there's anybody out there that don't know you, I pray that you continue to put that draw on them, put the right person in their life to say the right things and to help lead them to you. And I just thank you for all of this, and I pray that all of this will be beneficial to the kingdom of God. And it's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right. Well, I'm gonna get all of this a little more together. I know that it's still a little sloppy right now, but y'all, I'm trying to put a lot together in a little bit of time. And my family, in order for me to do this, we have to shut every other device off in the house, period, that would have an internet connection. So they're gracious enough to allow me to do that. I'm super thankful for that, and they allow me to get that little bit of time during the week where I can try to learn it and study this stuff. I hope to get better at this and understand it better and learn it better for you guys. I love you all. Oh, I do want to tell you this. I'm not going to do it right here on YouTube right now, and I will tell y'all why. If any of my mods have the Shelly Morales and the Mike Morales GoFundMe link, you can share it all you want in the chat, please. I have Mike's outro ripped and recorded, but I'm not going to play it right now. And I'm not going to play it because it is on some of his videos that are monetized. And it's not that I think there's an issue there, but with the current situation, and when I go back and watch them, and I know they're still playing commercials, because I'm having to go back and watch them and try to learn what half of these maps are and do. But since I do see that they have a commercial on there, I'm not going to play anything that would even connect a copyright violation of any type that would possibly put Shelly in a situation of having to fuss with YouTube over money. I would really rather, if she is getting anything from that, I would rather that just stay smooth transition. And maybe I'll stream over at DLive sometime, and we'll be able to do that type of stuff. And I may reach out to Jim Lee SL. We talk a good bit, and the thing about this right here is I'm just trying to give people a place, and we come together. And my problem with learning it is take a person like Jim and Hillbilly, and the problem is when their time they can teach and when the time I can learn, there's a tough time to kind of line up. At least I have been able to say 8 o'clock on Sunday night, and my family and everybody can work around me with that, and we kind of have that going on right now. Because I'd love to do it more. I love to talk about a lot of things, and I used to keep up with a lot of things. But sometimes life changes, and pandemics, change a lot of things. But eyes to the skies, guys. Armor up. Every time I go to end this, all I can think about is okay, Hillbilly. I'll check with that. Eyes to the skies, armor up. Now I can say this: the footage of the trails on the screen, those are all mine. Angie, Denise, oh yeah, Captain Tom, we was praying for Captain Tom. He had sent me a message, was like, I might be out for a while, my power backups and all that's going away, and I'm like, brother, I'm always praying for you. And I got a message, I think it was within 12 hours, the power's back home. So that's a praise God for protecting Tom in that time, So well, I'm going to leave you with this. Love God, love your neighbor, love yourself. If we follow that and we keep our eyes to the skies, we keep our armor on, and we rise. And one day we'll play that music, but not right now. Sorry. I probably shouldn't even have said anything, but I'm open too much of the time. Anyway, so here's my live intro that will take us out for tonight, and I will try to get some more interesting stuff loaded up in here. I love you guys, appreciate you guys more than you know, and we'll see y'all next time.